Friends, welcome. It is Wednesday, the 15th of June. No, January. You see, I told you I don't look at clocks or calendars. I'm true to my word. I actually have to look at the screen to know what the time is and what day it is and what month it is and what fucking year it is. Anno Domini, happy to be here as we kick off into the year of the apocalypse in 2025. And it's not something I'm rejoicing, except to say that I am somebody who's been one of those canaries in the cage, as some of you know, for many, many long years, squawking and raising sweet hell wherever I could about the need for us to retool, reorient, and repurpose our lives away from the kill grid into the new earth. And that is what this call is about. That's what this session today with the Newearth Bacalar team is all about. And I'm very happy to welcome you, friends. I think we're interactive and we'll be able to field some questions here. I confess it is early hours of the morning with me. It's 1 o'clock in the morning in Bali, in Indonesia, where I landed a few days ago. I'm going to be here for only another 5 or 6 days and then heading back to the bosom of Gaia in Mexico, and greatly looking forward to being back at Laguna Bacalar. I'm a bit of a loss at the moment as to what kind of tone to take as I extol the virtues of the New Earth project, the New Earth vision that myself and my colleagues and certainly millions of you out there have held true to over many, many years. We are the new fellowship. We're all gathered here as the new fellowship of man, so to speak. And I know for me that the tickle began about 25 years ago. It was 1999. Before that, actually, 97. But in 1999, it possessed me sufficiently to take me, mind, body, and soul, and say, no, you don't participate in the kingdom of the devil and continue to simply be the utility of a harvest cycle of governments and of churches and of high streets and of the fuckery that comes with playing into the matrix. There has to be another way. And I have the backdrop of being a war baby with my sister. And so we have that backdrop, which was actually a tremendous, in Africa, that was a tremendous texture or contrast against which we get to define ourselves as sovereign artists, creatives in this world. And that's been my drive. And I know that most of my audience, most of you folks, most of the New Earth demographic, so to speak, are also creatives. You know, we're people who have already begun that process of stepping away from the fiction of time is money into time is art, time is creative expansion, time is wise dreaming rather than participating in wage slavery and the dream spell machine. And I just put out a commentary yesterday. I've done a series of interviews in the last few days with various journalists and podcasters, principally in America, wanting my commentary on what's happening in California. And I just put out a film that I re-released a film that I made a year ago on the Maui fires, and I just said change Maui to Los Angeles. And in 2 weeks from now, change Los Angeles to Chicago, or Chicago to London, or London to Brussels, Brussels to Prague, Prague to Stockholm. It's kicked off. It's kicking off. And it takes an unbearably blind human, which is to say an unbearably woke human, to not see that it's kicked off. And the cornerstone of my commentary is, I fucking told you so. As many of you, us, our repertoire, as good humans, the meek who are about to inherit the earth, we've all held that deep conscience and that deep instinct. Some of us for many years, old veteran shock poets like me, but others not so long perhaps, but we've all held that flame and we've all known that this threshold event was coming. And that when it came, we had a duty of care to ourselves and our families and our communities to be in a state of readiness for what next. The whole thing that I've been doing my best to engender with the Newearth team, the Newearth project team over the years, has been to begin to dream a metric, a blueprint that makes sense, real deep, substantive, resonant sense to any good human of any persuasion anywhere on the surface of this plane of existence. I didn't say orb. Elevation of art, beauty, and consciousness. Essential over the mindfuckery of time, money, and fear. And time is money, and money is fear, and it's all about scarcity and all about a Cartesian, Newtonian, Einsteinian model of reality, which is essentially false light matrix reality, which is we're running out of shit. We're running out of air, of water, of oil, of gas, of life force. And we're slowly dissipating and drifting apart into deep space. Whereupon one fine day, in the not too distant future, the sun is going to explode and incinerate our solar system. Nice. Thanks. Thanks, Einstein. Thanks, Newton. Bullshit to all of that. We do not live in an expanding, ever depleting anything. The sun is not powered up by fuel, and it can't burn out of fuel. The sun is a superluminal, hyperdimensional eyeball of God into the temporal realm, beaming life force into the kundalini of each sentient creature in this entire plane of existence. We have limitless force, limitless power, limitless beauty, limitless creative expansiveness, limitlessness in every single sense of the word. We are indomitable. We are not subject to any longer to Atlantean light, the fallen light of Atlantis. We are no longer subjected to the wiles and the fancies of the Catholic Church. We're no longer subject to the wiles and the fancies of governments. Trust me when I say this. I predicted in 2013 that governments had about a 10-year run and then they would be fully exposed. And that's exactly what's happening right now. If you begin to see the disassembly of Washington, District of Columbia, of the City of London, the Crown of England, the crowns all across Europe, in point of fact, the Vatican complex, Basel, Switzerland, Brussels, the European Union stronghold, all of them are under dissolution and in foreclosure variously, which leads us to what? It leads us, friends, quite deftly to this conversation, where it is you and me, us, in a circle of fellowship, and how we choose now to stagger to our feet and redefine who we are, what our relationships are to one another, what the transactions are between each other, how we choose to move forward into creative expansion, into a blissful, euphoric existence, which is not subjected to third-party intervention. That's what the Newearth project is all about. It's the absence of third-party intervention. So you know that enough to have already come into the gate here. I just wanted to underscore that this is what this is about. This is a jurisdiction. This is sovereignty. This is autonomy. This is where we take it from here. uh, given the fact that the entire model of civilization and of culture and of religiosity, all those models have failed abjectly. And 2025 is that line in the sand. It always was, incidentally. If you understand the greater movement of the sun, moon, and stars, and the configurations of the heavenly bodies. 2025, midpoint 25, in point of fact, Midsummer's Day this year is situation critical. I believe that on the flip side of that, we literally move into the onset of what I would call the biological ascension begins unfettered beyond the midpoint of this year, which is why we're seeing the apocalypse playing out now in a kind of cascading compression event. And it's exponential, and it is not over yet. We've got a few months ahead of us. This conversation here, I'm going to be introducing you to core members of the Newearth Bacalar project. Newearth Bacalar is ground zero, as far as I'm concerned, of the new human, the new Earth horizon, where we take it from here. By the end of this meeting and this powwow, I think you're going to have a lot of your questions answered. And what I will guarantee you here is that every single question that you may put to me and to my team will be answered in full, unfettered, every single question. That said, let me at least quickly refer to my production notes. There we go. I've overstepped my introduction by 7 minutes. There we go. First fuck up of the evening. What I need to do next is play, I believe, this little skit by way of introduction. Stand by, friends. And that brings us to members of the team. Let me first bring on arguably the prettiest face in our pantheon of gods and goddesses. Melissa, good to see you. No, that's a fail. You definitely need to unmute your microphone.
Oh my God.
There we go.
Am I on?
You are.
Oh, beautiful. Hello, Sacha. I'm actually in Norway today and you're in Bali.
Ooh.
So Yeah, beautiful Norway. And I just want to say with that introduction, my heart is pounding, and it has been such an incredible weeks meeting so many of you here in the audience. If I've already met you, welcome back. I know that I invited you to come, and I'm so happy that you're here on this presentation of Pathways to Transformation. We're going to be telling you more and more about this incredible project and the seed in Bacalar. So please know that we have created more Q&A calls. We've seen so many of you come on and ask powerful questions. So many of you want to know where we're at, how it's going, and it is blooming beautifully, just like a seed should. And after such an incredible introduction with Sacha, I know that if you're anything like many of the people I've spoken to, you're looking to connect with this incredible water. So I hope you enjoy this presentation, meeting more of the incredible team, and especially Dr. Ling, Tuan, and everyone. I welcome you, and please see in the chat where you can book and come on to the live Q&A, have your questions answered. And as Sacha said, we will be answering your questions as we evolve, and we look forward to meeting you and joining you here in Bacalar. Thank you so much.
Beautiful stuff. Thank you. Thank you, Melissa. Friends, I just want to walk you quickly through the Newearth evolutionary timeline for those of you who are new to the Newearth party. I think it's good to give some context. There is a slide here which I will be speaking over variously. Melissa, I'm going to pop you, if you don't mind, into the back for the moment. I'll bring you back in. This is the slide here. So the Newearth project was founded in 2013. And in 2014, in March of 2014, some of you will remember I did a key broadcast on the spring equinox with Nassim Haramein, the great quantum physicist and mathematician, Foster Gamble, and Michael Tellinger, Santos, Bonacci, and other worthies. And what we did or attempted to do at that time in 2014 was launch QPT, ZPT, ZPT, 0 point time. It was an entire clock, and it was we developed and built a very clever clock, and it was an algorithm, very beautiful, predicated on central sun being in Giza Plateau midday, directly over the prime pyramid of Cheops in Giza Plateau. That was central sun. All around the world, the time signature was the same. So 0 point time would be 12:05 everywhere on Earth at the same time. What we were hoping to do, and that was my intention, was my idea, was to unmindfuck humanity back into syntropy, into a syntropic resonance where we all started to have the same time signature no matter where we were on the planet, which would allow us to then not get confused by this enforcement of 1260 time Babylonian complex where we're all at different signatures and we don't quite know anything and everything. And that's by design. So we learned to stop learning how to navigate by the sun, moon, and the stars. We stopped learning about the cycles and the seasons, the circadian rhythms. We started to lose touch with the earth, humanity, because we went into this 1260 signature. So just to say, in 1214, we did make a very noble effort, or I did, to launch 0 point time. The world did not pick up on it. We even designed it as an algorithm that could put into your computer, so all computers would zero out to the same time signature. Now, I'm going to predict that within the next 5 years, that's exactly where the world is going to go. And we'll be ready for it. We'll be the first community using 0 point time in all of our devices. But that was done in 2014. In 2015, Newearth University was launched actually as the Newearth Academy, which has morphed into the Newearth University, headed up by wonderful Chancellor Dr. Nancy Ash, the Reverend Dr. Nancy Ash. Have to say that the Newearth University, NEU, has put out various schools, and it has led coursework in sovereignty law through UCC, Uniform Commercial Code, coursework over multiple semesters. The International Tribunal for Natural Justice was launched also in 2015 in Westminster in London. Some of you will remember that, pretty historic stuff. And for 3 years, we conducted court and multiple hearings, and then we evolved the court into simply doing judicial commissions of inquiry into different primary areas of focus that needed to be brought to the attention of the world and to the so-called authorities. So we did in Westminster in 2018 the human trafficking and child sex abuse, which really ripped the can off pedophilia and the whole panoply of wickedness going on in the basement connected to ritual satanic abuse and organ harvesting and all sorts. So that's historic stuff that we did in 2018 in Westminster. Almost got some of us killed. We have been thanked profusely by heads of intelligence agencies, and millions of people around the world have responded to the work that we did. It's really helped to educate people to what was going on in the civilizational basement. It's also the tribunal then in 2019 launched I think we've got it here, the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into weaponization of the biosphere. If you see on the 2019 there, those were the Bali seatings where we warned the world. Del Bigtree, who's been Bobby Kennedy's key man and the key figure in the world, an expert who's exposed the horrors and the apocalypse of the vaccine program. So Del Bigtree came out here to Bali, Dr. Robert O. Young, Dr. Sandra Rose Michael, Jeffrey Smith and Dane Widgington and G. Edward Griffin, and a lot of the great and good people in truth and disclosure and in health sovereignty lent their voices. Hundreds of them, in fact, have lent their voices, the leading experts in the world over the last few years. We did another World Health Sovereignty Summit last year in 2024. Sorry, I've just been nailed by a mosquito. And we're doing another one, I believe later this year, we're going to try to launch another one. What I'm saying here is that the Newearth project, Newearth, have been the early bird. We have been ahead of the curve every single step of the way. Years before it's become populist or fashionable to speak about this and to talk about that, we have been there. And that's been the function, the prime function has been to not predict by throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, but by being tuned into the resonance of where this world is going, how we are responding to unfolding reality as a kind of morphogenetic fellowship. That's really the duty of care we each have as empathic human beings. And that really is the thrust of our intellectual gravitas, if I can put it that way. Bali Newearth Haven was launched in 2017. I'm sitting in that haven right now, and it's pretty much world famous. World Health Sovereignty Summit, the ITNJ Bali seatings there. Then in 2020, you can see the lockdown occurred 6 months after Del Bigtree, myself, and others had predicted that we were about to head into the weaponization of the biosphere full tilt. And 6 months later, or 5 months later, boom, the COVID pantomime began. And lockdown began. So I immediately started galvanizing leading voices and pundits and medical scientists and doctors and forensic analysts and blah, 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 to start to expose the truth of COVID and Corona. And of course, the ITNJ did a judicial commission of inquiry. We brought forth all the greats, the Dr. Rashid Buttar, Dr. Judy Mikovits, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, Dr. Christiane Northrup. I could literally name 120, 150 the leading scientists in the world who variously lent their voices to our cause that we were bringing forth. And then we went on to do the Reclaim Your Lives initiative, and then the Line in the Sand initiative later in 2020, again, calling out the authorities head to head with governments, head to head with the World Health Organization, these diabolical institutions. And then in 2021, I did the focus on Fauci. This was the mock trial of Anthony Fauci, and Bobby Kennedy joined me for that. Dr. David Martin, Rocco Galato, the barrister from Canada, amazing guy, and Dr. Judy Mikovits, okay, who used to work for Anthony Fauci. So we put Fauci on trial in 2021, and I am pleased to say, by the grace of the living God, everything that we did early birds in 2021, 4 years ago, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, my math is not that bad. 4 years ago, we called every single thing out. And of course, we were madmen. Of course, we were marginalized. Of course, we were ridiculed. And what's happened? Robert Kennedy is just about to take over as the health czar in the United States, which means the world. He's about to slay the World Health Organization, the AMA, FDA, CDC, NIH, and all these other godless agencies that have essentially hijacked humanity and our mRNA. So, well done, Newearth, to that. I'm just giving ourselves an accolade here. And then in 2021, the Arise Freedom Tour kicked off. I'm not going to go into that right now. Many of you know about it. It had some real renown. 2021, I began the Regenesis retreats in Mexico at the end of the Arise Freedom Tour. 2022, I launched the Arise Guerrilla News Network, AGN, and that was in order to raise sweet pandemonium in 2022 and 2023 and 2024. Those were the years, as far as I was concerned, that were absolutely necessary, that we galvanized the spirit, our social activist and political activistic spirit, and lent in hard and unrelentingly to the status quo. And that's what I did. And that's why I launched the AGN network. And that's why I broadcast week after week after week after week with hundreds of the world's leading voices and pundits, military intelligence, medical science, you name it, people. I've stopped AGN because AGN fulfilled its task. I've not wound the network up. I'll resurrect it once we build a hard studio in Bacalar and in Tennessee and in Africa. And that may be later this year or early next year. I'll resurrect AGN as a broadcasting network. But I'm too busy running around the world to be doing weekly political activism or social activism broadcasts, besides which I believe I delivered my payload. Now we've hit 2025. And like I said, this is the year of the wise dreaming. I'm focused now on planting the seeds and being out there engendering the spirit so that we can really lean into invoking and conjuring and manifesting, enacting and embodying this new earth. I don't need to be throwing stones at the citadel any longer because we've won the battle in that sense. Okay. Just quickly to wound up again the evolutionary path here. Then 2022, we began the Newearth Bacalar Laguna project because I came to Mexico. I went to Bacalar Laguna. I got into the water. I got out of the water. It changed my life. And I knew that I'd hit something as extraordinary as Lake Titicaca or Lake Baikal in Russia, one of these primary water sources. Now, we've got the world's leading academic expert on this broadcast today, sat in my office with my sister in Bacalar, and I will defer to the genius in a little while, and that's Professor Alex Ling. And he's going to give us an education on water briefly here. He's been educating millions of people in recent years. But what he's discovered in Bacalar Laguna, in Mexico, courtesy of our project, is remarkable, is otherworldly, and proves that I was absolutely right when I got into that water and got out of it in 2022 and said, this is ground zero. This is where we are going to build the first proper New Earth hub. This is where the New Earth Sanctuary is going to be. And I know that I've been right all along. We then launched the World Health Sovereignty Summit 2023. Forgive me, it wasn't 24, it was in 2023. That was the second summit. Then in 2023, we launched the New Earth Pharmacy. I pulled back. We launched incredible two products, weaponized E. coli and the spike protein. And we were about to come under savage attack from the powers that be, that I kiboshed it last year and suspended all external activities, all explicit activities of the New Earth Pharmacy. It cost us a fortune to develop the microbiological formulas to counteract the spike protein replication and the weaponized E. coli, which is causing the infertilities. But honestly, what we were doing was so controversial. We do sell the product. It's still out there, but I've not made any public overtures. I've not gone to social media, tried to sell and promote the products because it was too dangerous. Now that Bobby Kennedy is coming in and taking down the draconian element of the FDA and the AMA, we will be able to re-release hard the Newearth pharmacy and our breakthrough microbiological formulas, which I believe are the best in class in the world. There's a lot of science there. We can cook up the antidotes to every single lethal pathogenic strain in the world today using the same breakthrough microbiological formula that we use with Newearth Pharmacy. So it's completely pioneering. It's extraordinary stuff, but I'm not going to go into it here. This is not the forum for it, except to say go to the newearthpharmacy.com if you want to. And the Newearth Pharmacy with an F for fuck Fauci, just so you don't forget what that means. Moving on, Newearth Technologies was born in last year in 2024. Some really exciting breakthroughs to talk about on that today. 2024, we launched the Newearth Tennessee Golden Ticket. That was late last summer whilst I was on tour early autumn last year. And we have raised sufficient monies. We are in the process of land acquisition right now in Tennessee. Very exciting. We've got Dr. Maneli Sharifian, who is our director of the Tennessee project, and she'll join us shortly. We will be launching, forgive me. No, we launched the Newearth Sovereignty Academy in 2024, a couple of months ago, with great success. Dr. Maneli and Ali, who may be on here as well, I'm not sure, can speak to that. But the Newearth Sovereignty Academy is absolutely kicking. And I can tell you, friends, that it is the tip of the spear. It is absolutely the vanguard of teaching pure form sovereignty, blessings of liberty, hardcore, very esoteric jurisdictions. How do you force the government to stand down? How do you force the IRS to stand down? How do you force any petty bureaucrat or tyrant in the high street to stand down? By claiming your full straw man and autonomous sovereignty. So we teach that and we take no prisoners. So that's also keyed into the Tennessee project, but anyone can sign up and do the coursework there. Finally, we are launching this year the World Hereditary Council and Newearth Africa. And I'm not going to spend too much time talking about that right now because I want to get on with this. If time is freed up, a bit later, I might show some stuff on Africa. All I'm going to say is this: we're right in the middle of it. We have heads of state involved, and we have the heads of royal households in Central and South Africa involved. And by that, I mean kings of kings, the very high paramount hereditary leaders and heads of state. It is a very big, monumental project, way bigger than I ever dreamed we would be able to get the Newearth to in my lifetime. And it's happened, and it's all happened in the last few months. I am not able to make any public statements about this until memorandums are signed with the governments and with the royal establishments. But I can tell you that certainly by Midsummer's Day this year, I'll be making full announcements about it. I think it'll be a lot sooner. I think by the end of March, we may be in a position to make public announcements. But it's shocking stuff because what I will be demonstrating with my team is that everything I said about predicting how governments would not fall and completely disappear, but they would have to completely reboot themselves and recalibrate what they are, what they've become. And what we're about to do in Africa, I believe, is going to be the first big macro demonstration of how human beings, reclaim the technology, the apparatus of government, establish our own macro jurisdiction. I'm talking about hundreds and hundreds of square miles of nation, and establish our own law, our own economy, our own social ecology, implement our own technologies, our own breakthrough vanguard engineering and quantum processing, things that are outlawed normally. If you're living in Philadelphia, you're living in Johannesburg, you're living in Ecuador, you're not allowed to make certain technologies. You don't get UL certifications or CE certifications. You're not going to sell your free energy technology to anyone in any store, because you will be banned, outlawed, and you get arrested and go to prison because you're trying to sell products that don't work because they don't conform to Newtonian physics. You see the problem? You see the trap? Okay, so I'll leave it at that, except to say that we do have breakthrough free energy technologies. We have two in-house, and we are releasing them this year in our own jurisdiction. And if I have the time, and no one's yet come on and shouted me down, so I'm looking to see in the green room if Christy or Tuan or anyone is going to say, shut the fuck up and hand the microphone to us. But let me quickly refer to my notes again, friends. It says, Sacha, back path of evolution slides. You gave me 15 minutes for that. It's very kind, guys. Okay, it says Sacha shares founding narrative of Newearth Sanctuary. So Newearth Sanctuary is the place that, like I said, ground zero of Newearth. That's all you need to know. So Bali here, this exquisite place I am right now, that I now spend 2 to 3 weeks a year in only, is a famous gathering place. In fact, in 3 days from now, hereditary chief Phil Lane Jr. arrives. The King of Kings of Indonesia, Steven Seagal, the actor, who's a dear friend of mine and who's a sensei, an Aikido master, is also flying in. He's actually with the president of Indonesia in Jakarta. He's flying in as a sensei Aikido master to participate in the ceremony. Chief Phil Lane Jr. is bringing Crazy Horse's pipe here from the Americas. We have the King of Kings coming in, local kings from Bali, and all the prime high priests are coming in, about 10 of them. And we're going to be doing incredible ceremony, 6 hours of very intense ceremony, bridging east and west. And this is going to be filmed, and you'll all see it after the fact. We're not going to be able to live stream on the day because it's sacred ceremony. It's very intense what's going on. But that's Newearth here. So again, hereditary leaders, world leaders fly in to Newearth. We've got that renown. We've got that gravitas to be able to host these kinds of events. And this is actually the first event that the World Hereditary Council through Newearth is actually hosting this platform. So stay tuned for that. But that's the kind of thing we do here at Newearth. Festivals, ceremonies. We have a restaurant and we have a venue and we have accommodations. It's a beautiful place. It's not a residential sanctuary, but it is the place that I designed and built in order to prove the elevation of art, beauty, and consciousness is the metric that all human beings want. We all want to live beautifully, and we want to live indulgently, and we want to live freely without any encumbrance, without any third-party intervention. Okay, it says explain zero-point economics. Well, in simple terms, I'm going to keep this to 90 seconds. Zero-point economics is where you and I and 10 million others make determinations ourselves. And of course, crypto has now proven this out, and blockchain. But we decide amongst ourselves what our economy is, what the store of value is, what the measure of exchange is, and we start to trade with that coin or that token. And we have to collateralize or back it up with something. In our case, we're backed up by the most important value of all things on the surface of this earth, which is the fellowship of man. That's the prime currency. I can tell you that. No one else has ever said that before. I'm the first human being to say it, and I know I'll be proven right within 7 years. The whole world will recognize that the fellowship of human exchange is the prime currency. Secondarily, it's good ideas, creative ideas, right? Great ideas. Thirdly, it's technologies that serve people and the planet. That's it. So that's what our economy is backed by. Fellowship, a growing, evolving fellowship, great creative ideas, unrelenting, unfettered, creative, expansive ideas. limitless energy to fulfill that vision of elevating art, beauty, and consciousness. And thirdly, technologies like free energy technologies and like hemp industries and long chain molecules and all sorts of amazing things like Professor Florian Kolchiag's universal genome. For those who've been watching Lazarus, know what I'm talking about. No time, unfortunately, to go into it here. Okay, 0 point economics is how we determine the entire economy internally, come to those agreements, have the software, the technology to be able to generate that exchange amongst ourselves, and we just get on and do it with no permissions required. And of course, sovereign banking. So we're also establishing right now Newearth Sovereign Bank. I think it's going to be ready by probably by the start of Q2 of this year. Certainly it will be ready and unveiled by the middle of this year. And we've earlier today, myself and our commercial and development director, Adam Krim, were on a call with the architect of that sovereign bank. And it's very exciting stuff indeed. It says, discuss the pine cone telluric energy fields. Okay, 20 seconds. All of our buildings and that we conceive of fall loosely within the ambit of something you call bioarchitecture. Bioarchitecture is where you take a building, any building, every building, and you apply certain sacred parameters to it, to the construction of it, and to the orientation of it. This is based on Feng Shui. This is based on Vastu. These are ancient principles known to the Chinese, known to all the ancients. And if you understand spatial dynamics and harmonics, you immediately create a space wherein the elementals move in such a way as to empower and affirm and expand, as opposed to constrict and create psychic traps. Like right angles are terrible. No room should have a right angle in it. And if it is a right angle, it needs to be qualified in a certain way. So we apply the principles wherever we humanly can to spatial dynamics and spatial harmonics, Vastu, Feng Shui, orientation, divinations, even with the soil. And then finally, anchoring each building with a paramagnetic key into the earth and a dielectric antenna on the top of the construct, one way or to other. If you ever come to any of my 3 or 4 hour lectures on my tour circuit, you would know that I lecture at great length on this. I spend about 40 minutes in my lecture just on talking about dielectric antennas and paramagnetic key points in buildings, because the ancients knew that's how you extend human life to 1,000 years plus. It's how we return to the immanent, immortal paradigm, the Garden of Eden. We start to realize that spaces that we live in are sacred, and they have to be connected to the alpha and the omega, to the dielectric universe and the paramagnetic forces of the inner earth. So that, in simple terms, is why we have what look like pine cones on a lot of our buildings. Okay, but it's a whole subject, and you'd have to sign up to our faculty of bioarchitecture in order to learn more about that. Discuss hydroxy energy thingy. Okay, very briefly, I will do you the favor of not just discussing it, but let me call up. I'm kind of cocking this up. So sorry, guys. I'm supposed to be sharing a screen here with you very quickly. See if I can do this. It says share screen, window. Okay. Are we there? Can you guys see it? Okay. So just very quickly, going to discuss this in a moment. Newearth Regenesis. I hope that Sky and Anahita may have joined us by now. This is some of the technologies that we're deploying. Bioresonance technology. That's the Newearth pharmacy I was referring to earlier. This is the Newearth Haven in Bali, where I am right now, mentioning to you the function that this place fulfills as a prime place for major ceremonial events and cultural events and sacred fellowship events, leadership level, major undertakings. That's Del Bigtree. That was the World Health Sovereignty Summit. That's the Raja Sama-Sama of Indonesia. That's the Bishop of Jerusalem and the King of Kings, and a great many good. You'd see G. Edward Griffin there on the right, the hero who exposed the Federal Reserve 50 years ago with the creature from Jekyll Island. This is the judicial commissions of inquiry variously that we've undertaken.
Sorry, Sacha, those images aren't showing. It was static for a little bit. Sorry.
Oh, so what did you see?
Just right now, we just see the golden ticket.
Oh, now you see a picture. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bugger. We should come in earlier and stop me from waffling. All right. And can you see this?
Yeah, but it's small. It's like a small presentation. We see the whole side. We don't see the entire image. It's not in presentation view.
Okay, that's fine. So what I was trying to do was to get to some of these. Are you seeing this?
Yeah, we see a small version of it.
Well, it should be a big version now. It's gone big on my screen. Okay, I'm not going to waste people's time. I'm going to stop doing this. That particular piece is clearly not working. So now, Christy, for some reason, I've closed down my slideshow, but it's still showing here. Why is that?
I just removed it.
Okay, very good. Thanks very much indeed. All right. So I wanted to discuss the med beds and the microtech, and I want to show you guys very briefly our energy system. So let me show one. I'll just show you one sneak peek photograph here. Share screen. Okay. Present. Share screen. Tell me if you can see this image here. Someone speak to me, please.
Yeah, we can see it.
Thank you. Now I understand that you can see it. So that is the hydroxy unit, friends. That's generating hydroxy gas, and that generates about 250 liters in an hour. We can power up any generator. We could power up an African village on a cup of water a week, more or less. That's what that essentially means. It's very, very exciting indeed. And that's the first technology that Newearth Technologies is bringing out. Now, I have to say this, it's a caveat, but it's also something which is, it's indemnifying us. We will not be selling Newearth Technologies to the world. We're not going to be putting them out or trying to get them into the high street, onto the shelves. We're not doing it. We've taken a determination, or I've taken a determination, that we will be only dealing with our technologies internally. So the homes that we build and all the haven sanctuaries, micronation satellites that we build out will be powered up on microgrids. But we're not going to be trying to tangle with the flailing powers that be for the next 2 or 3 years. I can't see that happening. So it's only something which internally, like this is an internal private members broadcast, so to speak. This is a meeting amongst a fellowship of New Earthers. I will speak boldly to these things internally, but not on social media, not externally. So let's just make that, I want to make that a distinction. I'm trying to find my production notes. Okay, I'm back now. Weave in the fundamental importance of sovereignty. Well, I don't need to do that. I think we all understand by now. I've waffled enough about it. I just want to hand you over momentarily to Dr. Manelli Sharifian. Manelli, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Hi, Sacha. How are you?
Very good. Please update me as well as the audience on the Newearth Academy. Where are we at? How are things looking?
Yeah, Sacha, I want to first say that you are on social media and Facebook Live. So because you said
that's this as a one-off, it's fine. But what I'm not doing is I'm aware of that. What I'm not doing is I'm not out doing campaigns, buying space, promoting things. This is still internal. This is a members thing as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, so we have had 4 live sessions episodes for the Newearth Sovereignty Academy, and it's so beautiful. I hope people can still join live because we still have 6 more weeks to go. And it's just being in that environment and reading those material is I have known a lot, but it changed me, just those sessions. So I highly recommend if people can still join the course because we still have 6 more weeks live interactions.
Good. And where can people sign up? Do we have a slide?
Yeah, they can go to newearthhorizon.com/academy. And I don't have a slides, but yeah, they can. Actually, Christy just put the slides. Yeah. So.
Okay, that's a really long URL. newearthhorizon.com/academy/. Is that it?
Yes.
Great stuff. And how long is the coursework?
So it's 10 weeks, and we have Q&A every week, and we already have had 4 weeks, but people can still watch the recordings, and we have 6 more weeks to go. So if they want to join, this is really a good time to be live and interact with Marsha.
Beautiful. Terrific stuff. Thank you, Manelli. Appreciate that. I'm going to put you to the side there. I'm going to bring Melissa back into the side there as well in case she wants to jump in, chime in on anything. And now, friends, I want you to meet. Oh, do we have Sky and Anahita? Have they found us? Have they joined us? Christy, someone talk to me.
Yeah, we don't, but we do have the video ready to go. So just ask me and I'll trigger.
Could you kindly trigger the video? Stand by, friends. This is Regenesis. This is the Newearth approach to health and wellness moving forward.
An elder told me many years ago, he said, if you want to heal the people, bring them to the natural world. The natural world in itself, the natural world is a place of the spirit.
Bacalar is the heart of our vision for New Earth Regenesis. Here, the timeless wisdom of the earth meets the most advanced healing therapies, forming a sanctuary where transformation becomes possible. In this sacred space, we fuse cutting-edge regenerative medicine with ancient practices to unlock the vast potential within each of us. Optimal health, longevity, and profound vitality.
Bacalar will serve as the blueprint for a global movement, a network of Regenesis sanctuaries that will redefine how we heal, how we live, and how we connect, from cellular regeneration to sacred energy medicine.
At the core of our work is the Regenesis process, a groundbreaking system that purifies the rivers of light within the body, restores cellular coherence, and reawakens the body's innate intelligence. This process honors both the sacred and the scientific, empowering the human system to heal, regenerate, and thrive in ways we have long forgotten. But Regenesis is about more than just healing. It's about remembering who we are, what we are capable of, and the sacred relationship we share with the earth.
Bacalar is the beginning of this journey, and we invite you to walk this path with us, to heal, transform, and awaken to humanity's extraordinary potential.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. Very lovely. I hadn't seen that all the way through. Okay. Next up, friends, happy to bring on. I'm sad that Sky and Anahita, for whatever reason, have not been able to join. I'm just looking back in the green room to see if they've come in. If they do come in, I'll drop them in from the green room so they can say hi and speak a little bit to the Regenesis piece. It's an important piece because we've spent pretty much the whole of last year, 2024, developing the Regenesis concept. And again, the Regenesis concept is keyed into bundling state-of-the-art technologies, emphasis frequency technologies, with ceremonial medicine, which Sky and Anahita lead ceremonial medicine retreats, which, as we all know, are hugely consequential to people. You have CEOs now of blue chip companies doing ceremonial medicine in order to clear their demons. You've got captains of industry, political leaders doing it. It's something which is now being taken very seriously, provided it's not recreational. So Sky and Anahita bring that piece into Regenesis, combining ceremonial medicine with very advanced technology. Some of the tech that I've been bringing into the table comes from the Russian cosmonaut program. As some of you who watch my broadcasts know, I've spent months in Africa this last year, also working with a group and getting ready to bring certain technologies, breakthrough technologies from there in healing forward, biofield acceleration, incredible technologies that are going to revolutionize our planet. And they have impacts from agriculture all the way to human health. So advanced light, geometry, frequency, and sound technologies bundled with the ceremonial piece. Plus, you also throw in that very advanced microbiological formulas, like the Newearth pharmacies, IGY formulas, and we've got a pretty package there. Then you've got a unique set of protocols that Sky and Anahita in their clinic in Canada have become famed for. That's how I met them. That's why I seduced them over a year ago into coming into Newearth and working with me and my team to combine a unified brand which could completely replenish a human being facing no matter what condition they're facing. And again, I'd leave Sky and Anahita to explain this, and you'll have to look at other broadcasts that we've done together where they talk about their full spectrum protocol. It's very intense. I think it's a 14-day, 21-day, 30-day, 45-day, depending on what your condition is. But all I can say is this, is that we've reached this axiomatic point where it is possible to take any human being pretty much with any condition, pretty much, and be able to extend life substantially from what their prognosis would be, if not to cure them completely. Now, in order to cure, use the C word, in order to cure a human being, you need to address the mind, the body, and the soul. You can't, and the emotional body. You can't just pump them filled with drugs. We've learned that. We all know that by now. But there's something else here. When you key the human being into the new understanding, the new horizon of quantum consciousness, and how we are now on this cusp of an enormous upshift in our understanding of ourselves, of the cells in our bodies, of the quantum universe, and we start to have this kind of whole systems superluminal genius awakening. This is the macro kundalini awakening. We start to learn a couple of tricks, a couple of incredible things. And in this particular sense, I'm talking about water, talking about the water molecule. I'm talking about how water is the quantum carrier of consciousness, and we now know that, and not least because of the incredible work by Dr. Alex Ling. And that, of course, is a perfect segue to bring him in. Dr. Ling, you'll need to unmute your microphone.
No idea where. No, we're not muted. No, we're not.
That was such an ignominious entry to this broadcast. You're supposed to say, "Hail! Hail to the audience."
Can you hear us okay? Yes?
We can hear you now. So I just set you up for a beautiful entry. That was a damn squib. So let's start again. Friends,
Wow. I don't know what's
all right.
going on.
Sorry,
Okay.
chaps. This is
We have
definitely.
That was Sky calling us right now.
It was the second fail of this broadcast. I'm going to do not let it happen again. So
Sacha,
point
tell
is
us-
this. I was just trying to set up. I'm trying to set up the story here. For those of you who either attended my UK, England and Wales and Ireland tour and Scotland tour early last year, some of you will have been lucky to have met with Dr. Alex Ling. We did I think three gigs together in England. It's where I learned from him. And he is the pioneer, as far as I'm concerned, and many are concerned. He is the leading pioneer in water and consciousness and how the two come together. And he's in Bacalar Laguna at our base camp there. He's been there now for, correct me if I'm wrong, Alex, 4 or 5 months?
I think it's pretty much close to 5 months now. I planned only to be here for 2 days or so, but I'm still here. So I'm blaming you, Sacha.
Well, we need a good explanation. Why are you still trolling us in Bacalar, Dr. Ling?
Okay, I blame the Laguna. It is very similar to your experience. The first time when I actually entered the lagoon, I was sold. I mean, it was just the most incredible spiritual experience. The connection I've formed since then is something completely out of this world. And I learned so much about the water in Bacalar from the Laguna, which is just mind-blowing. We are, as humans, so very much connected to that consciousness. And with the research we are doing, especially taking the blueprints of the water, which we have done from the Laguna, and it was the most incredible image, which now has been used amongst also the indigenous community as a sign, a symbol, symbolism for communication with water. So it's something which we are really pleased about, so that people are getting involved in this new project. We are just have opened the doors to some of the most incredible scientists here from around Bacalar as well, macrobiologists and scientists, people who are working with recycling, with closely together with the hotels to protect the lagoon. And that is also something which is very close to my heart, as we have seen some impact of the tourism and other things which have impacted the water. But we have now opened the doors to our lab, which is right in the center. We're not quite in the center, it's more on the water side at the Costera, so where we opened a laboratory so that we can invite everybody and anybody to have a look at what we are doing, and in connection, of course, with Newearth, creating the most incredible technology to provide people with the most perfect source of water, which is structured water. So we're doing all this research to finally get the water we should have as humans, and not being reliant on the water which is sold to us in plastic bottles and so on. So this is here the image which we have extracted from one of the first contacts with the water. And you can see that this is a portal. The portal is one of the most known interdimensional connections which we have. And there are a few other portals dotted around the world. And here in Bacalar, we have truly one of the most beautiful and oldest connection to the water consciousness which you can have. So then we had also, in some of the conversations we had with the water, some of the more updated events of a volcano in Indonesia, which just recently erupted, and the water has told us from this event, showing us this volcano in the blueprint, which was mind-blowing. On the right side, this was also from the Laguna. The water was taken by sunset, and it was the most incredible, beautiful sunset with a golden shimmer on top of the water, and it just kind of reflected that in the blueprint. So we have established so much more since the last few months, and this is a science in itself, and we are very, very close to a very revolutionary step forward to translate all the blueprints we have, especially from the Laguna, into a sound. And now we are talking from the songs of water, which are so essential for our healing the planet and healing all of ourselves.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Alex. How do I remove that? There we go. Take that out there. Thank you, Alex. Beautiful. So we're establishing academy there on the banks of Bacalar Laguna. Can you just very briefly mention our Guardians of the Water campaign and initiative?
Yes, of course. The idea is to have people getting to their favorite water source, the source of the water they can connect with. It could be somewhere in front of their doorstep or further afield. It could be a spring, a well, any type of water, but please do not use tap water. So, and then you can go to our website, which is aquan.co.uk. And you can purchase there a kit to have the right equipment to sample the water. And then you return it to our lab in the UK. And we also have now a new place in America. So you can send your samples there and they will be analyzed. So we will have then the blueprints of each water source. In that way, we are in control, not in control, but we can observe if there's any problems through all the different guardians of the water around the world, if there's any problems through contamination or such things. So, but the idea is to build up this huge network of water guardians who then can work with the water on an ongoing basis. But also we have, as a unity, a much stronger position. If there's any problems, any of those water sources, then we can do actually physically something against it. So international pressure is always better than just from a few local people. And so we have water ambassadors who are going to be in charge of these samples. And we also have now started to go into schools, and we're going to have per school 2 ambassadors, a girl and a boy, who are going to be responsible for the water research in their school. So this is something we're just going to introduce here in Mexico first, and then we hopefully can do this internationally.
Beautiful. Thank you. And friends, I just want to restate and underscore again that water is the quantum carrier of consciousness in this world. This is something that was known to the ancients. Our departure from the Garden of Eden and our loss of innocence and our descent, so to speak, into the galactic sleep cycle has all been part of a great evolutionary passage. I think the wise amongst us know that intrinsically. But the fact of the matter is that much of our innocence was lost because we lost that connection with the primary waters. And we lost the understanding that the waters were here and have always been here to serve us in being able to augment our dreaming and to be able to manifest reality through understanding the connection. You know, we're made up of water. Our bodies are 90-odd% water. The cells, are filled with water. The sky is filled with water. Everything's about water. And when we get back into that and understand that water is how we engender the new dreaming, everything will change resultantly. And there's another piece, and I'm going to only dwell for 1 minute on this, but I want you to think about it because it's an incredible context that'll change, I think, change the way you view history and view reality today, the status quo. But in the simplest terms, one of the things I learned from Dr. Alex Ling on tour last year was, for me, absolutely seismic to learn this, that King Solomon back in the day was the first king of kings, supreme ruler of men, to take water, the quantum carrier of consciousness, and to put it into cisterns and into pipes and feed it to his people and thereby downgrade humanity. This is a huge discovery which comes to us through the grace of revelation. And you wonder why. There's a direct line between this kind of mythic figure of King Solomon being this all-wise alpha omega of jurisprudence and of wisdom, and that all the way through to the rebuilding of the Temple of Solomon by the satanic house of Rothschild in Israel. What's going on there? And this, intended thousand-year reign of Lucifer that the satanic forces and Luciferian forces have long vaunted and planned for. So we've got some strange alpha point and omega point connected to the Temple of Solomon and all of that Masonic bullshit. So think about it. We've had a kind of framework, a contextual framework that has been diabolically faulty about, the arbiter of wisdom and of justice and of humanity. So change everything in that sense that you think you know. If King Solomon, in his infinite wisdom, removed structured water from humanity, destructured it, and then fed it to humans in order to dial us into becoming subservient slaves. No different to how the purported Nazis purportedly put fluoride into the purported concentration camps in order to dial their consciousness down. So just think about that. We are here pioneers, and we have to also revisit all of the deceptions, grand deceptions of history. So having spoken about the waters of Bacalar Laguna in Mexico, which is a primary water source connected to underground cenotes, which is very much a part of the regenesis of humanity, and how we take forward our emancipation, our enlightenment, our morphogenetic upshift. We chose that part of the world. We have bought land in that part of the world. We have prime land on the Laguna front. Obviously, that's what this clarion call here is all about. This is a call to people who want to come now and begin to plug and play into our kingdom of heaven on earth. So we're now going to walk you through the development, so to speak. We've done a hell of a lot of vanguard pioneering work in bioarchitecture and bioresonance. This place in Bali is kind of world famous for what we've done and what we've built in terms of bioarchitecture and bioresonance. We're taking it to the next level in Bacalar Laguna in Mexico. So I'm going to introduce Tuan now. She says, Tuan, yeah, you can take it over from here, Tuan. If you need me, I will happily be the wing. But yeah, Christy's in the back room. I'm going to sit to the side. So, Tuan, you've got the...
Okay, don't disappear entirely. I feel I like your company. What I'd love to do is just our poor team on the ground have been hanging around for about an hour, Sacha. Listen to the story. Yeah.
Hey, brother.
And we can.
I'll be seeing you next week. Hey, brother, good to see you. Yay!
So we have Sergio here and Edgar, who are pretty much running everything on the ground here. We have Olga, who is the queen of the castle, taking care of our home and the office here. And we have Josue, the newest member, who's amazing and has transformed a lot of the groundworks outside. And we have Israel, who is the master of the animales in Bacalar. And we are so out of time, thanks to you, Sacha, that I'm going to let them go and have lunch. And just wanted you guys to know who we've got here on the ground. Because
beautiful. Thank you. Guys, I'll see you in about just over a week. Looking forward to it. Much love.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. So, right, I'm going to just launch into the project that we have going. I'm a little not au fait. Okay, I think I know what I'm doing now. Christy, could you help a little? I would love to know how to make the presentation take over the screen. I'm not sure how to do that. Thank you so much. Okay, so we have started, we started a couple of years ago, as Sacha said, running around looking for land, finding land, trying to find the owner of the land, trying to find a lawyer that wasn't bent and trying to find an owner who really did own the land, and then find the land and trying to make sure that the paperwork, so all of that over a period of 1.5 to 2 years. And we've been through many iterations, very bumpy rides, and learnt an awful lot. And this is the spot where we are, which is this beautiful laguna, which I don't know, do you know how long it is? It's about 34 kilometers or something like that? 50. Yeah, it's pretty long. Cancun is up here, and we're on this beautiful peninsula. And this is where, it's not showing, you know what it is? This has all gone to pieces. I can't do full screen because it's not showing the full slide. Sorry, people. I don't know how to make it not.
Sorry, guys. I think everyone got kicked out. And along with Tuan went her
Presentation.
her presentations.
Oh, such are the perils of live broadcast.
Well, if you want, I've been speaking to a lot of people about the beautiful land that we have of the seed. And a lot of people ask about it, where it is, what's it like, what's going on, can we come and visit? And so we have had here a QR code. I'm sure here in the chats as well, you have a link where you can book the Q&A. And I just want to tell you that, yes, we do have a beautiful piece of land. It's a little bit more than 3 hectares. It's almost 4 acres, if you know acres. It's beautiful, and right down in front of the lagoon is where we're going to be building. I always say we because I'm part of the nest here, where we're going to have the retreat center, where they're going to be building cabanas. It's also going to be where everyone who is part of the community, who has their home within this beautiful community of Newearth Bacalar Sanctuary, where you can go and swim and play. Also, we're working on projects where there's going to be a restaurant, and if the restaurant's making money, that money's going to go into helping everyone keep the grounds beautiful. And as Sacha was saying, art and beauty is such an important part of life. So there's going to be artwork, and there's going to be the incredible architecture. And, we look forward to having your questions and getting on calls. And there's the QR code if you want to know more and join the Q&As. And I don't know, Sash, do you want to say anything else? So there's Tuan.
Darling. You definitely get the cigar. Thanks, darling. They're back.
Okay. Hi. I apologize. I think our is on and off. Okay, let's try. I'm just, Christy, I don't really know how to have a full screen without losing half the slide. Is everyone seeing this okay? Does it look good to your side? Okay. So as Melissa thank you for that, Melissa. Art, beauty, and consciousness is really the key to this whole thing, to just basically raise the frequency and give us artists a job, really. Guardianship versus ownership, which is tying in very strongly with Alex's work. So it's not only the water guardianship, but it's the land guardianship, and how we build and how we land on that land is critical to the way we're doing things. We want to make growing food a beautiful, easy, clean process and right within your fingertips. So that's another principle behind this little development that we're doing. And the 0 point economy, which Sacha has already spoken about. That's where we will have activities that happen on the land, which help to engender an income stream that helps to keep maintenance costs down, certain elements that I'll get into later, which bring in secondary income streams for residents who live there. So we're located on the Yucatan Peninsula, on the beautiful Laguna Bacalar, and we have this tiny, it's just jumping around like crazy. Okay, let's hope it stays there. So the seed is a tiny little piece down here in the bottom. We have some land options here, small parcels, which are available, ready to go and titled. Wow, it's just wild today, sorry. And this is the Alpha Omega project over here, which is where we're headed to and where we'll end on this presentation if we get to the end of this presentation. Highly unlikely at the moment.
It looks great on our end, Tuan, just so you know.
The only problem is that I'm looking at the wrong presentation because I'm now about to, oh no, it's the seed still. It's good. Okay, good. I'm glad you can see it. Wow. It's just jumping around without me touching anything, Christy. So this is the topography of the land. It's about just under 3 hectares of land. We have a beautiful dip here, which we're going to turn into a sanctuary. And we are going to be working with local guys who are doing amazing things with the Mayan bees, rare orchids. We're going to build natural pools there. And some of it will be you'll be able to walk through it, and other parts will just be the sanctuary. Very small, but about 3,000 square meters. And then we have this other piece here, which is the Laguna front land, and we'll get to that in a moment. These are the plots. We're aiming for 13 individual plots, and then one bigger plot that has 5 units. We call it the multi-residential unit. And some of these have been snapped up, and some of these have not. We have here the HQ. We have a kind of a walkway that will be looking over the little mini sanctuary in the natural ponds. And we have a whole kind of agricultural area here and a community space over here. These are the plots, and these are the sizes and all of that. And we are, no, it doesn't want to go. Well, it's just such a rodeo ride. We did, these many little dots are not just decorative, they are, which they sort of are, but they are also every single tree. We did a survey. So the colors, as you zoom in, which I won't even dare try, from 20 centimeters upwards in diameter, so that we could build in amongst the trees. And we've compromised 1, 2, and 3, but we're going to make a plan for that so that we can go around them, which is not bad. If you go to the, wow. If you go to, wow.
You didn't even touch it.
I didn't even touch it. I swear to God. What a nightmare. Okay, so we have all the trees.
That was me that time. I heard you were trying to go forward, so I was trying to move it forward.
Okay, let's just say that I press the button unless I can't. Should we do that? Try that? Great, thank you. Okay, because I'm also missing, I just don't understand. I'm so sorry, this presentation has gone to pieces. Okay, I'll just take it as the slides. We're going to build, I'm just going to take whatever comes in front of me. We're going to be building a lot of different homes. You've seen some of these designs in the beautiful promo video that Sacha played of the CGI, but we're also looking at building homes that people they have a certain lower budget, and that's their limit, 60 grand, 100 grand, 200 grand, or whatever it is. And they may have a completely different dream. So we will build that home using, as far as we can, the local material, stone, wood, palapa, mud, adobe bricks. Christy, could we just jump back to me? I just want to show a brick. Can you jump to me, Christy? Maybe not.
We can see that. We can see that one.
Okay. Yeah. So this is an adobe brick that we're made out of our material on the land, and we've tested it, and it's functional, and that's what we're going to be building with. We can change the shape of it. It's also got these holes in it, so all the surfaces run through, and they lock together in a good way. Let's go back to the presentation. Terrifyingly. Okay.
Hello?
Okay, she's stuck now, so.
Well, I think she's showing the different art and how we want to be using as much as we can the earth to make these bricks. There she is. Yeah.
It's our internet. I'm so sorry.
Well, that's part of living in the jungle.
That's right. So using the same material, we're going to be creating an incredible array of superficial surfaces, some of which will be functional floors and kitchens and bathrooms, following things like the tadlak that they use in Morocco, where you lay your plaster and then you burnish it, and it's pretty much like stone, and you can add pigments and aggregates so it gleams and it glows and it has different colors. And we will have groups of artists going around and dressing it up. So I think we missed it. No, that's right. Okay, so these are the bricks ideas that we're going to be using the the type of bricks that we are making, we're going to be producing a percentage of production will go to our neighbors for low-cost housing. We'll also try to encourage them to come and work with us so that we can show them how to make it for themselves, and also give us their labor in the process of building. And we can make formers to create any number of shapes, to create very beautiful walls, some of which are just decorative and some of which are functional. For example, bricks like walls like this with holes, if you present them to the prevailing winds and you have water running on the inside face, you'll have a drop of about 10 degrees in temperature, which is huge in this climate. And so we're going to be using a lot of indigenous technology ideas like that throughout the project in terms of collecting water, restructuring water with our man here. And we're offering a lot of simple designs in terms of local natural materials and Mayan architecture, because the planning process is massively simplified for those. But the glorious palaces are also available too. So very classic Mexican interiors, but it's pretty much up to people in what they want to do, and they will have a session with an architect and the builders and design their own homes. And we, Ness, will be midwifing that process. So you'll trust the builders because of us, and they'll trust you because of us, and we'll make everybody behave and be nice to each other. That's going to be our role. When we get to this alpha project, which I'll come to later, we're going to get into a lot of 3D printing and mold making and like the Binny shell type thing, but better, perhaps. I think we can be better. And so really play games with architecture and use these forms with ancient forms for natural cooling, integration. And Melissa, you're not muted, just so
I've
you
just
know.
removed it from the studio. It's okay.
So what we also have are, so you can step outside your front door and grow your food. We've designed these grow walls and places to create canopies where you're able to very easily grow your food. You've seen this is the architecture of Sacha. And these are, variations, 3 domes, 1 dome, 4 wings, 1 wing, all of which conform to certain principles of bioresonant architecture. And here we go. This is like a privacy wall. So we're hoping that people won't partition their land, because the perimeter wall will contain the whole development, but each home will have a series of privacy walls and spaces for growing, but also for, having their own life in. And these shapes that we're using can be a single floor unit, a 3-floor unit, so you can get to the view of the laguna, or it could just be a cabana style home. This is the privacy wall you see here. And then we've also got on option classic Mexican, one of our architects, great designer from Tulum, and he's got classic Mexican adobe style. His home will also conform in terms of the water management systems and waste management systems, which are critical, given that we're on top of a lacy network of cenotes, and we're going to preserve that water at all costs, are we not? And he will be using the same sorts of materials that we'll be offering, so and the same internal systems. So that is the seed. Now I can tell, you can probably tell that I'm rocketing along, not only because I'm completely confused by what's been going on, but because I've got a lot to get through. I'm now going to jump quickly to the amenities which are on the land. Now, amenities, I didn't really know what that word was until I came here, but basically it's the lovely things that make a place lovely. So if we go to this slide, this is where we're going to be doing, obviously we're selling plots and they're going to be homes built on those plots, but we're going to be building a lot of things on the project using a process that I've used for years as an artist, to sort of groups of non-skilled, non-artistic people, but who want to learn skills, who come and give their labor in order for us to create big things. And using that model, we'll be creating many things on the land, not only those artistic interventions that I described, but things like natural pools, because, for example, I hate chlorine. It just scrunches me up. I feel like a crisp after I've been swimming in it. And, if I was to build a pool, I would just love to have a natural pool, but not with all the squidgy worms and blah, blah, blah. So they do that. And we've got some amazing people here who, one of the women who's working with us, she's not with us today. She's part of the rest of the wider team. She is working with these guys who make natural pools. So we'll be doing a series of workshops, which we'll be inviting people from all over the world, because a lot of people want to come here, but they're not all investors, but they want to be a part of the project. They want to get involved. So we're going to run a series of workshops. People come, and some people will pay because we've got to pay the guys who are running the workshops, and there's going to be a certain amount of material that's needed to be paid as well. But for example, some things will just be decorative. Other things, for perhaps older residents who need a secondary income stream, we'll build little earth homes on their property, which would be a little Airbnb for them subsequently. Our neighbors will participate, we hope, so that they learn about the material and then they can take those skills and take them away, but give us the gift of labor, and we'll integrate, because the biggest danger we face is a bunch of gringos having some lovely Mexicans cleaning our homes, and that's obviously a model that we want to run screaming in the opposite direction from. So these artistic
Oh
bee
dear,
sanctuary, the rare orchids, all of which is going to add to our biodiversity and the whole feeling of.
Okay, that's Mexico connection being lost there, I think. In any event, I'm gonna drop Tuan out for the moment, friends, and I see that my beloved Sky and Anahita, at least Sky, I can see Sky. Thank you for joining us. A little late for your allotted time slot, but hey, this is a kind of quantum gig. How are you doing, brother?
Yes, doing well. My apologies. We had some internet stuff getting onto StreamYard. It was a bit difficult this morning, so my apologies. Yeah, things are really good here. We are still moving ahead in the lab here. Some amazing, incredible results. Our last client that just left last week had his type 2 diabetes reversed, got off all of his medications, as well as his prostate cancer. I mean, these things are happening all the time. Our protocols are being refined every day now. We have this new anti-nano technology. I don't know how deep down that rabbit hole we want to go, but we are definitely the first to market with a anti-nano blood filtration system. So we're actually able to see the reversal of the nano's ability to communicate. It's sort of its operating system. We shut down the operating system, so we can take someone into a Faraday cage. We can see the unique Bluetooth MAC address, and then after the treatment, seeing that MAC address disengage. So that's really cool. And yeah, just seeing these amazing transformations that are happening is pretty cool. We're excited about November. Looks like we're going to be the clinic will be live in Bacalar. So we're moving quickly towards that now, and really exciting, building our online platform. So lots of movement, lots of excitement to share. But yeah, just seeing, we're just on the ground, supporting people to reverse these, complex chronic illnesses. And so, yeah, we're just super excited to see the results that we're getting consistently now.
That's terrific, Sky. Thank you. And yeah, I just wanted to try and get a fix on our timelines. We've been building the Regenesis brand up to become this world's leading into full spectrum integration facility, which we're building first turnkey in Bacalar at the Laguna there at the Newearth Sanctuary, then Tennessee, USA, and then Africa, and of course Bali here. We're intending to syndicate the facility here. So it's not a clinic, it's not a spa, it's not a retreat center, it's not a ceremonial medicine garden. It is not just a world-leading kitchen and a culinary and nutritional experience. It is all of those things rolled into one, and bringing in the best technologies on Earth, the best microbiological formulas and supplementary formulas on Earth. It is understanding the quantum consciousness of water and how we have to superstructurize water and work with water in every way, shape, and form. It's also about divinations and about orientations and bioresonance and bioarchitecture, and how we consecrate the soil, consecrate the built environment, and create that venue for the fellowship of the Rainbow Warrior Tribe to come in, reclaim our DNA, mRNA, reclaim our souls from the cage of the false light matrix, and resurrect ourselves, mind, body, and soul. That's what the Regenesis brand means. That's why we've designed it. That's why we've lent in all of our technologies and our expertise. And you and Anahita and your crew have got, to my mind, the best reputation in the world for being able to eradicate any and all conditions which are not friendly to humans. Doesn't matter how serious the condition is. And you've created a unified protocol, which I have to say is very complex. It's not a simple protocol. It's a complex one, but it's absolute. And it was because I'd heard that you have this incredible reputation for telling stage 4 turbo cancers to go and fuck themselves and march in the other direction. And, I'm just putting my vernacular in a way that can't actually get us into any hot water. Not that the AMA and the FDA are going to be coming looking for anyone anytime soon. I rather suspect they're on the back foot roundabout now, quickly shuffling the deck in their own turgid basements before they get dispatched into oblivion by one Robert Kennedy Jr. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Sky, thank you. Where is your better half?
Yeah, she couldn't make it this morning. Unfortunately, she's with a client. So, she's working hard. We also have the online coaching as well. So we're coaching people that have come through the golden ticket from Australia and Europe and places. So yeah, she's been dealing, really we say everyone has their own unique, blueprint, really a spiritual blueprint. And really this whole process is about a reconnection to that. And so, being able to tune in and really find out what are those unique pieces that need to be integrated for each person. But overall, this whole, like I just said chronic disease, but really what we know now is there is no disease. It's another one of those mind control pieces. Really, we have a dissonant energy, through the various toxins and heavy metals and these types of things that we're exposed to, that really attract these parasitic organisms. So we're dealing at the level of the blood, we're dealing at the level of the genetics, and we're going in and we're helping to remove this corrupted these corrupted aspects that are not serving. And so that's why we're seeing such amazing transformation. So she's really at the forefront of that, while I'm more on the building side. So yeah, she's in the clinic at the moment. So,
well, yeah. Send her our love, please, Sky, and thank you. And greatly look forward to seeing you anon. I'll be leaving Southeast Asia here in about a week. Oh, as you know, Chief Phil is arriving here in a few days' time. There is our beloved Chief Phil, with Sky and Anahita and myself in the Palenque Congress, which was, I think it was last May. Isn't that correct, Sky?
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Historic Congress. And he brings that medicine now across the waters to Bali, Indonesia, and he's being received by all the great and the good here. Greatly looking forward to the ceremonial event that's taking place on Monday. After that's done, I'll spend 2 or 3 days here with Chief Phil. Sky then be heading over to Mexico and then to North America for the tour. My sister and Alex seem to have dropped off again. I'm assuming that Bacalar is having real difficulties getting online. No problem there. Melissa, is there anything else that we should be doing in terms of a clarion call for people to funnel them to how, if they want to get on board, come and do a tour, come and see the project reach out to you, to whomsoever? What's the protocol?
Hey, yeah, thank you so much. And that's just the way the jungle is sometimes. So yes, I would love for people, if you want, you can go to this QR code that you see here to join the live Q&A. A lot of people love to go to the Q&A. Bring your questions. We'll answer them there. Even sometimes, or oftentimes, Sacha pops in. And once you go on the Q&A, then you can fill out an application. And that's only so that we can really understand, where you are right now, what you're looking to create, what would you like. It's really for us to get to know you. And then from there, you can book a call. And I've been taking discovery calls these last 2 weeks, and it's been really great to get to know the community, see what really everyone, one of the questions that comes up a lot, Sacha, is like, are there headquarters on the seed land? And, I'll just introduce that question. At the moment, when you come, as you saw our team there, we have some incredible tours we've created, and you can go on the land. I see people, you can go and hug the tree. You can jump in the water. You can feel the vibe. And I know that's so important. So you can come to see the land. Once you go on the Q&A, you ask some questions, and we get to know a little bit more about you. We look forward to seeing you in Bacalar. So yeah, go to this QR code, or I think that there is also a link in the question box, in the chat box, and we'll see you then.
Beautiful. Thank you. Okay. I think I still have to spin the short film on Bacalar. Is that correct, Christy? Give me a shout from the green room, would you? We haven't played that yet, have we?
Yeah, it's labeled Russell video down below.
Got it. Let's hit it. When I first came here, touched the water, got into the water, that was it. Or anyone who comes here, their relationship with the water becomes the seminal piece.
I started out introducing myself to the waters, and she did her work on me, as I've now witnessed her work on everyone who comes along. There's something deeply profound about the expansion that I'm experiencing and that I'm witnessing other people experience in terms of the relationship with nature.
Coming here to Bacalar, something shifted in me. I wanted to understand what that was. We've acquired land. We have micro-investors around the world, part of the Newearth tribe. Absolute pristine wilderness land here on the front of the laguna. The hard forensics we're conducting on the water with Professor Alex Ling and his world-leading team at the forefront of human consciousness and water and the relationship therein. I'm passionate about hard frontier quantum science. The entire basin of this 45+ kilometer laguna being made up of microbial flora and fauna compacted over millions of years. The genesis DNA of all living systems on the face of the earth originate in the stromatolite. Almost certainly the critical contributory factor to what's happening in the laguna. Of course, with Dr. Ling's, he's setting up faculty here on our land. Do we send them a kit through the post? They then take the samples, send the samples back. Dr. Ling's laboratory does the analytics and the forensics, the microscopy. We then explain to people how they can communicate to water and invoke a response from the water.
Collect the waters, that you would share the waters, that a database of waters can be known, that when we see that these waters are powerful in healing, we can take some of that water to the waters that are sick and troubled and offer that healing by way of this sharing.
Demonstrating how humans' consciousness impacts water. I began the Newearth project in 2013, and fast forward talking about how do we claim jurisdiction around the world, set up the International Tribunal for Natural Justice, set up the Newearth University, which has, I think, almost 26,000 subscriber students now. We built the Newearth Haven in Bali, famed for its beauty, and that was the test bed for the metric of elevating art, beauty, and consciousness with what's happening in the United States right now on the frontiers of geopolitical revolution. These are all way signs, humans coming together into a fellowship, a new covenant, born out of our relationship with one another. That's the piece that the elders, the wisdom keepers, have always seen coming. Out of that chaos, that calamity, would emerge the Rainbow Warrior tribe. Now that's the piece here.
Privilege, honored to meet Sacha back in 2020. We're heading to the seed this morning, our first purchase here in Mexico, in Bacalar. And the reason it's called the seed, because this is the first plant of the Newearth sanctuary. Globally, we will be the first to get the foundations in.
The first place we put spades in the ground to convene that fellowship, that community. And that's what's special about this place. And that's how we've evolved in 11 years, growing into the Newearth Institute, then the Newearth University, that evolving into the Newearth Haven in Bali, the Newearth Haven now delivering the next iteration as the Newearth Sanctuary. Tremendous community on the ground, big administration team taking people on tours, come and see the land, can explore the dimensions of what we're building. Whether it's a micro investment, want to come in and buy into the actual investment opportunity. Laguna Bacalar is now recognized as the jewel in the crown of the Mayan Riviera. We're discovering new pyramids in the jungles here. The Mayan train is an incredible multi-billion-dollar objective by the middle of next year that opens up. It's a tremendous boon to this country. So we are thrilled that we purchased premium Laguna Front land when we did. We have now 4 other landowners with about 2 kilometers of Laguna Front desperately wanting to proceed with us. Properties are going to skyrocket as well. This seed project that we're on right now, that springboards to the Alpha project that moves on to the Omega project. We proved out in Bali at the Newearth Haven, we are at the tip of the spear of bioarchitecture, which is incorporating bioresonance, understanding spatial dynamics, spatial harmonics, and bioresonance, and incorporating those elements. We minimize the use of concrete, we minimize the use of steel. I'm talking about a pretty substantial team, ground crew, staff in our headquarters, sales and the tours, boatmen who are working with us, and the Mexican families who are working, the micro-investors who are the backbone of this project, that first pioneering community of souls. So the New Earther is somebody who recognizes that and says consciousness in action is what defines my survival. You truly wish to repurpose your lives and those of your families and retool yourself. This is a canvas upon which you're invited to step into a higher version of your own life. That's what this blank canvas represents. Come in to the New Earth. What happened there? Good heavens. Let's just remove that. Sorry, messy screen here. Friends, let me just jump up here. Very good. Well, that's that. And we still have no return from Dr. Ling and Tuan in Bacalar. So I'm going to assume that that's the last we're going to see of them today. There was going to be a roundup from Tuan on the practical reality of making a dream come true in a foreign land. This, I suggest, will carry over into Q&A sessions. Anyone wanting to plug and play, we are opening up for prospects for homes and land in the Seed project, and then in the Alpha project, then in the Omega project. So we're talking ultimately about many hundreds of homes that we are planning within the greater New Earth Sanctuary project in Bacalar Laguna in Mexico. Anyone wanting to come in, be serious about it, because because we've got it's a bit of a deal to get people there and to take you on tours and what have you. So there's a filtration process. People who are just idly curious, don't make that call at this time. Push that back. We are catering here right now to people who are ready to exit the matrix, people who have watched the fires in California, watched the Maui fires, watched the Paradise fires, know about the geoengineering, know about the kingdom of the devil and what's taking place around the world and what is likely to be dialing up. This is serious stuff. I'm not being a doomsday merchant. I'm not trying to peddle land deals or a community I'm not trying to be a doomsday merchant in order to sell homes, but what we're doing is trying to be in a state of readiness for the flight from Sodom and Gomorrah, because that is underway. I can tell you that. Look at California. People by the droves as of this week are packing up, selling saying, fuck it, we should have done this a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, when Sacha Stone put out the 5G apocalypse, the extinction event film, and warned predictably every single thing that is happening in the kill grids, aka the cities. So people who are serious about now retooling, reorienting, repurposing their lives, taking their investment out of godless banks, putting it into the sacred soil and into community, into breakthrough technologies, and into a future for yourselves, your families, and your generations to come. This is the project for you, not if you are simply idly curious. We need people who are dynamically active in their consciousness and their will to leave Sodom and Gomorrah and come in and join this fellowship. It's a beautiful movement. We are now at the tip of the spear of the New Earth horizon. We're desperately proud as a small a community of what we've already achieved over the years, and the fact that we have, each of us, and I mean every single member of this team, have positioned themselves, mind, body, and soul, at the tip of the spear. It's very exciting stuff. So if you want to reach out, do so. There's the QR code. I will, it says Christy play alpha CGI video whilst what? Don't know what that means. Christy, is there anything else you want to add as producer in the background?
No, we're fine. That was just for a final wrap up that Tuan was going to do. There's no,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So is there any outstanding media that you're aware of?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, fine. So I'm just going to do one more plug for the event coming up. One moment. One moment, friends. Let me just call up this graphic here. And then for those of you who are watching who may be in Bali in Southeast Asia, just make a quick note here of this, or aim your phone at the screen now, and that QR code. So that's Hereditary leader, Chief Phil Lane Jr., coming in to Bali this week with Crazy Horse's pipe to do very sacred and historic ceremony, bridging the East and the West, bringing Hopi prophecy to fruition and the eagle and condor, hummingbird and quetzal prophecy to fruition, bringing biblical prophecy to fruition. This is the regenesis point of the Rainbow Warrior tribe. All the high priests and the highest of them will be here to officiate and attend. Steven Seagal phoned me this morning, and he's in Jakarta with the president. He's flying in to be present at the ceremony. He is a sensei, Aikido master, and a ceremonialist as well. A number of other ceremonialists will be joining us. I'll be doing a Q&A, special Q&A with Chief Phil Lane Jr. and with Steven Seagal on hereditary redemption, the resurrection of the ancestral blood song, and how that equates to the New Earth Horizon and the New Earth Project. And that's going to be at my home, all of this at the Akasha New Earth Haven and at my villa here, Monday, 20th January, 3 p.m. arrivals till late. So I wanted to make that plug for some people in Asia who may wish to attend. You'll have to do it through RSVP because I believe that it was getting very full a couple of hours ago. Let me close that window. All right. I don't have much else to add. Let me bring Tony in. Friends, this is Antonio. Tony runs my office and runs my life and my schedule and has a pretty shitty job to do, keeping up with my shenanigans. But know that face. He's also sensitive and profoundly clairvoyant. And it's how we met. It was the Archangel Gabriel, is that correct? Who brought us together a couple of years back in some powerful happenstance. I'll leave it at that. Dr. Manelli Sharifan here, who is our project director for the Golden Ticket, aka the Tennessee Project. We're going to make very exciting announcements about that, friends, very soon. I'll be in LA in a couple of weeks' time Yeah, I'm going to be landing in LA just as it's, burnt to a crisp. I'll be in LA for the Conscious Life Expo, all things being equal, should that proceed. I'm sorry, I should have a slide up here promoting that, but I don't have it. Or at least some kind of link. Maybe we can ensure that a link is put underneath, just promoting the show I'm doing at the Conscious Life Expo. And I'll be hosting 2 panels as well. And the subject matter is the new earth and the golden ticket. That I am the golden ticket. You are the golden ticket. We are our golden ticket. We're not waiting for the cavalry to rescue us. We're not waiting for the Palladian starships to arrive. We're not waiting for the Catholic Church 2.0. We are the golden ticket. We are the ones we've been waiting for in that sense, and let's get on with it. So, friends, I think that more or less brings us, he says, just quickly checking his notes in case I'm cocking up again and missing something. I don't think I've missed anything. And I have to say, I think I deserve a bit of an accolade tonight because all of my production notes had the wrong times on them. They're not in my time signature in Bali, in Indonesia. So I was having to guess right from parachuting in with no production knowledge of this production, and I had the wrong times on every single segment. It is now 2:54 a.m. and I'm about to peel off and go to bed. So thank you, friends, and thank you, Christy, especially Christy, for helping to produce this. It's a fairly short notice, not a fun gig, this kind of thing, friends, I can tell you. And she's also in California. There's a lot of dramas going on in that part of the world. So thank you, Christy. I'm very, very grateful for that. Melissa, just thank you so much for your presence and your frequency. Love the fact that you are hardwired into the family. You bring the tone up in such a beautiful way. Thanks, Tony. Thank you, Dr. Manelli. I think Sky has probably left, and Anahita and the Mexican crew, anyone and everyone, friends, family out there. See you on tour in the US, kicking off 7th, 8th, 9th, I think, till the 11th in Los Angeles. Then we've got a bunch of dates we're going to be announcing. I'm doing a steady march across the United States, ending up June 21st, Midsummer's Day in Tennessee, in the Newearth Sanctuary Land in Tennessee, where we will be doing a proclamation, consecration event, and a proclamation. It will be historic. There will be a multiplicity of hereditary leaders flying in to be on the soil when we pierce the corporate veil. I'm not going to say anything more. It's very exciting. Sky is there. Sky, goodbye to you too, brother. Please send our love to Anahita.
Will do. Thank you so much, Sacha, and thank you again for everything that you're doing, brother. And super excited about the ceremony with Chief Phil and the High Priest. Yeah, amazing, brother. So keep going. We love you. We're right behind you.
Thank you so very much. All right, friends. Love to all of you from us. Thank you for staying with us. You've been a terrific audience. I don't know if we were intended to take Q&A, but I can tell you this much. I'm out of the studio now.
Bye.
Bye.